Hey, hey, hey. How you doing? Hello, hello, hello. How you all doing? I'm so excited that you are here with me today. As I mentioned earlier this week, I was going to be going live on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays during this time for like the next month or so to help support you all during COVID 19 and also to give and infuse just a little bit of positivity in our lives because we all need a little bit of positivity. So if you are here, I want you to kind of let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're watching. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button. I love your comments because they actually really help me out in terms of just let me know, hey, Nicole, I'm so glad you're here. And just let me know. Nicole, y'all, is just so good to me. I just love her so much. She's a part of Kiki Ramsey team, and she's just she brightens up my day every time I get to talk to her. And so, y'all, I'm so excited about today's topic because it's really fitting for the time that we're in right now. And today we're going to be talking about feeling torn between kids and work. And so if you have kids, then you might understand. If you don't have kids, then you might be torn between something else and work. I know a lot of people are torn between Netflix and work and TV and work and sleep and work. And so I totally understand it. But this is a subject that I've been actually talking to some of my clients about, and just some of my friends who have been really not showing themselves a lot of self-compassion during these times. And let's talk about self-compassion a little bit. Here's the thing. You have to know that you are human. We are all human beings. We all are, we eat, breathe, sleep, and we all make mistakes in our lives. And because we all make mistakes, and mistakes are inevitable, they are going to happen. Then, if you don't even call them mistakes, things are going to happen to you that you wouldn't necessarily think were going to happen to you that are going to cause you to not like yourself sometimes. And I know for myself, that's been the case for me. And then, especially during this time, during the pandemic, if you still have to work, you might find yourself torn between kids. And so I'll give you an example, even in my life. Right now, I have been upstairs in my office working since, I don't know, 10 o'clock this morning. Um, and my sister and my husband, they've been downstairs a lot. My husband's probably been downstairs working in his office, but I haven't seen my kids since 10 o'clock this morning, and we're in the same freaking house. Like we're in the same daggone house, but I have to work. And I'm thanking God that I'm fortunate enough to have some coaching clients that I'm still working with right now. And so I'm fortunate enough to work. My other business, my training business, I lost all that business. And so I don't have that business right now because we're all in the house, right? And so I have been feeling kind of sad because I can't spend all of my days with my kids downstairs and playing. And so it's hard. And so you may be going through the same thing in terms of being torn between being with your and being and having to work. Is As a matter of fact, I just got off the phone with a client who's having the same exact issues with needing to work, having to work. And some people have more work than they did when they were in the, and that's one of the topics that we're going to talk about on one of these days during one of the chats, right? But some people have more work, right? I know my husband is one of those people. He has more work now than before COVID-19. And so it's really difficult. And so if you're in that category, And you can't spend all this time with your kids and you're torn because you have to do work, but you also want to spend time with your kids. I have a couple tips that I've been trying to implement in my life and my husband's life as well, that may help you out. So, first, I want to say that you have to make sure that you take a lunch break. If you can take a lunch break, and what I mean is, I know you have a lot of work. I'm talking to you if you're like working, 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 or if you have all these meetings scheduled, whatever it is for you, I'm talking to you. I understand it. But here's the thing, everybody needs a break. Nobody's brain can consistently work, right? Throughout a 8, 10, 12 hour period. Like, you have to have some kind of breaks. We as humans work better with breaks. I know that's scientifically proven. I just don't have the research right now to point to, but we need breaks throughout our lives, right? So if you can actually take a 30-minute break, even if it's 15 minutes, hour would be awesome. And have that time where you can maybe spend some time with your kids while they're eating lunch as well. That'll help you. At least your kids can put a face to you, right? They can see your face because you're in the same house, and you can spend a little bit of time during that time with your children. I know this helps. The other day I went live talking about are your kids driving you crazy? And my kids were sitting there having lunch, and I was doing the live, but that was my time that I was spending with them during their lunchtime and during my lunchtime as well. And so if you can take a little time out, everybody, we all need to eat. Like we all have to eat. And so because you have to eat, I want you to take a little time out and then maybe spend that with your kids. Maybe you have a little time to go for a walk. And that's one of the things that we do. So we either eat and then go for a walk, or we go for a walk and we come back and eat. It just really depends on how the day shakes out, but they're always pretty much around the same time because we have a schedule, right? And so we go ahead and we go for a walk and then we come back, but it literally gets me moving. It wears the kids out so that they can take a nap, because they need a nap, because we need our quiet time. Everybody needs to be quiet, but they also need their nap because, of course, we all need to sleep, right? And it gives me time to work guilt-free. So that's the thing. When the kids are taking a nap, I know that they need a nap, but that gives me time to work guilt-free because they're not up. So I can't spend time with them when they're napping. So that's my guilt-free time to be able to do what I need to do. Sometimes I'm still working. Sometimes I am taking a break myself because we all need it. But if you are being torn between spending that time with your kids and working, literally take your lunch break, spend it with the kids. The other thing is you can get off of work early some days. Now, I know this can be hard if you have a very robust and busy schedule. I get it. I have that kind of schedule too, but I'm not always scheduled until 4 o'clock with coaching calls. And so some days, if I'm not scheduled until 4 o'clock, because that's my cutoff time to take my 3 o'clock is my cutoff time to take my last coaching call. And so if I'm not scheduled for that time, I might at 3 o'clock just say I'm off. I'm off of work, and then I can go downstairs and I can spend that time with my kids. So maybe you have the kind of schedule that you're at home. And so chances are, if you're not in a meeting, you can actually get off of work early. And that's what I really suggest, is that you maybe just one day a week, maybe one day every other week, but get off of work early, say an hour or two early, and then take that time to just be with your kiddos. This then helps you offset the feeling that you're not spending enough time with your kids, right? Because sometimes it can get hard, and you can feel sad. You can feel sad. I was talking to another client the other day, and she said that she felt really sad because although she's in the house and she's working, her baby is quite small. And the baby mentioned, to the nanny, called the nanny mama. That hurts any mom, right? It's just like, oh, I felt like so like, oh. But then we talked about it like, okay, I get it. That hurts. Let's talk about some things that you can do to be able to make yourself feel better about the time that you spend with your little ones. And so this is one of the techniques that I told her, is to plan one of these days. And y'all know I'm pretty big on planning out your day the night before. So if you have a light schedule, the in the next coming day, you can actually just plan out your schedule the day before. And if you normally get off at 5, then tell yourself you're going to get off at 4, and you're going to take that hour to spend with the kiddos during that time. And so she loved that idea, and I know that she's going to implement that into her life. And I think it's going to really help her, even though she can't do anything about the baby and calling the nanny mama. But at the end of the day, if you're spending more time with your kids and it makes you feel good, then that's all that matters. Like, that's literally the only thing that matters. And so I would just get off early, one day out of a week, one day every other week, so that you could literally feel better about yourself and the way that you parent. Another thing is really do weekends, right? Do weekends. And what do I mean about do weekends? Okay, so we're all in the house. We're all on these shelter in place orders, and we can't go anywhere and we can't do anything like that. The other day, well, last weekend, as a matter of fact, we decided that we were going to get carry out from Olive Garden. And it's curbside service. They come up to your car and all that kind of stuff. So we gloved up and we masked up and we did all that stuff. And as we were leaving out of the house, me and my sister, my Mackenzie was like, "Mommy, can I go? Can I go, please? Can I go, please?" And it was so sweet, but it was also allowed me to know that our kids are suffering just as much as we are. Our kids are literally going through this whole COVID situation, and they don't even understand what is a COVID, what is coronavirus, all these things. They don't understand this stuff. And so our kids are going through this just as much as we are. And so we put some gloves on her, we put some mask on her as well, and we knew we were not getting out of the car. And so we let her ride, right? We let her ride. And that was a weekend thing. Another weekend thing is just going for a ride. If you can't go outside, I know the weather here is up and down and up and down. And so some days it is nice and some days it's cold and you just don't know. But if it's like that for you where you are and you can't necessarily go outside, then go ahead and take a drive, right? Gas is cheap. Right? I just went and got some gas the other day, and it was less than $2. And for me, that's really, really good. And so go for a drive if you can't do some other stuff. The other thing is Easter is coming, y'all. We've never seen an Easter like this before. We've never seen Yeah, we've never seen Easter like this before. I'm trying to make it sound like it's good, but this is very different for us. And normally our Easter routine is everybody would have beautiful new dresses, and we would go to church and we'd celebrate Easter and God rising and all this, but we can't do it in the way that we used to do it. So what are we going to do instead? We have planned a whole Easter thing. We're going to still get up. We're going to go to church online, as we've been doing for the last couple weeks. And we are going to still have a little Easter egg hunt outside. I got some little plastic Easter eggs that you can put the one little or two little pieces of candy in there. We have our own yard. I bought the kids little baskets. You can still get all this stuff online. Or you can get it if you go to the grocery store to get, your essentials. The Easter stuff is still there. And so I got these little baskets and these little eggs, and I'm gonna put candy in it. And guess what, y'all? We still gonna have our Easter egg hunt. I got Mackenzie Easter egg dye. We're still gonna dye a couple of eggs, and we're still gonna do Easter. So you can make things as normal as you want it to be. You can still make things normal. This is a weekend thing, right? I'm still planning things on the weekends that I can do with my kids in the house. It just looks different. It's not necessarily we're going to a certain place. We can't go to the playground or anything like that, but I'm still planning things. We bought our kids a slide. We got it off of, we actually got it in Walmart. It's a little slide that's plastic that we bring in and out of the house on a daily basis when we go outside, and they slide. So I make weekends still a thing. Weekends was always a thing in our house, and we always plan activities. We would go to the library, we would do all those things. And so now I'm just becoming all the things that we used to plan. So make weekends a thing. So even if you have to work during the week and you have all these deadlines and you have to be, online and all those kinds of things, that's fine. As long as you still make weekends a thing for you and your family, it'll be okay, and you can make up and feel better about the time that you may not be able to spend with the kiddos during the week. Okay? And I think those are like the main things. I want to continue to just bring in this whole positive thought, right? Because that's what this is. These lives are for me to just kind of help you enthuse some positivity into your life. So I want to help you stay positive throughout this whole time. And so here's the thought. If you're like me and you are a working mom and your kids would go to school or daycare or something like that, this is time that you would have never had with your children. And chances are you're probably still working a lot like me. And you still have a lot of work to do. And so you're still having to juggle spending time with the kids and also being flexible and working as well. But here's the thing. I see all of this as a blessing. Like I always used to be so I guess envious might be the word, even though I don't like the word envious, but I'm telling the truth. I used to look at these moms who would stay at home with their kids, and I'd be like, oh my God, that's so awesome. Because not that I necessarily wanted to stay full time with my kids. I love working. I still desire to spend the time with my kids. And I think that's true for most parents who do work, right? Even though you work and you might like working, you still want to be with your kids and you still want to see them grow up, and you still want to spend these special moments with them when they start walking, when they start learning all these cool things, all these things, you still want to be there, right? And so I used to admire that all the time. But now I feel that God is giving us an opportunity to figure this thing out. Yeah, you still have to work, but you can also be flexible enough with your own schedule to make sure you get your work done, but to also be able to spend this time and to see your kids grow in the way that you've never been able to see them grow. I know for a fact I wouldn't have had this time because my kids would have been at daycare. So at any given time when I can go downstairs and have lunch with my kids, I couldn't have lunch with my kids. They were in school. They were in daycare. I cherish it. So I want to leave you with that thought. If you are torn between work and your children, just know that this is a time like none other to give you the opportunity to spend with those kiddos that you wouldn't otherwise have. All right. So thank you so much for joining me again. I'm Kiki Ramsey, and I'm happy that you took the time and you joined me during this whole mess of things, right? And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video with some other moms who might need to hear it and who might need to give themselves some kind of self-compassion, because at any given rate, we all need to give ourselves a little love, grace, mercy, and self-compassion. All right. I'll see you back next week, same time, same bat channel. Take care.